Hi, everybody. We are back to drawing our self-portraits, and today we're going to complete it by adding the face onto our facial features here. Now, typically you would do the skull beforehand, but since I wanted to get you started with the eyes and the nose and the mouth first, we're going to do it later. I also noticed that um, I drew these facial features a little too big, so part of my skull might go off my page. Okay, well, I wanted to show you guys typically what I do when I'm doing the skull. Now, the sides of your face, we've already put our eyes in place, so the actual side or skull is going to start about here and here. Okay. And then I'm going to do a very wide and soft upside down U. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I think for this purpose, I'm going to probably have to go off the page because our forehead is pretty wide. Let's not forget we have to keep track of hair, right? Our hair does not start at the top of our curve. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And it's going to go off the page a little bit, maybe a little bit wider. That. And do the other side as well. Always looks kind of funny when we're not adding hair right away. So there you go. Okay, so we've got a very, very round head going, which is fine. We all basically have round heads. But what's important is that we're going to go downward now and come to our jaw. So I'm going to start actually with my jaw, and my jaw is typically like 2 fingers. Hold on, let me see if you guys can see this. Let me move my camera. There we go. About 2 fingers below our mouth. So if you do that, if you put 2 fingers below your lips, you'll notice that's the end where your chin is. I'm going to do that. That's our mark for our chin. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of draw a little bit curvy, but a little bit straighter lines. When we get to our cheekbones, which our cheekbones are typically in the center of where our nose is, we might do like a little harsh curve there, like that. Give ourselves some cheekbones. And then continue to draw down like that. I might change that up a little bit because I don't think I have that chiseled face. That looks more like my face over there. So I'm going to go ahead and change that up. And this is why we always draw lightly, right? Now that looks like more like my face. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more width though. Okay, there we go. And then when we get back down to the chin, I'm going to analyze my face. I think I go in more. That. So I'm doing this while looking at my camera. Obviously you guys don't see this. So I'm looking at my camera to try to see what looks like me. And this is closer. Okay. Definitely far from when we were younger and we just did a circle to be our face, right? Okay, so that's kind of who I am, but I have ears. And I'm going to make sure that my ears are included. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where our ears are. Our ears are typically, they start just barely above the nose right here, and they end at about our eyebrows. So here's my ears. Okay, like that. And I'm probably going to cover them with my hair anyway. I'm trying to figure out what my ears look like. I think they're kind of lobby at the top and then they come down a little bit. My ears are actually just a little bit below. A little bit below That. Okay. Yeah, not loving my ears. Doesn't it look hysterical? Let's go ahead and add some hair. How about we add some hair? That way we're going to cover up our ears anyway, because you know what? I don't think we need to go into detail with our ears. But in case you wanted to, if you're a boy, we need to make sure we look at our ears because typically boys do have shorter hair. And I shouldn't say that. You know what? I shouldn't say that. Girls have short hair too. I'm totally wrong on that. My daughter has short hair. Okay. What I do want to show you guys is that we need to start our hairline. Our hairline starts about right here. Okay. It does not, like I said, does not go to the top of our skull. So we're going to start our hairline here. And I'm just going to go ahead and do like wisps. Okay. We're going to get into hair in a little bit, but for now, I just want to show you guys that we are going to make sure that our hair starts at the top of our skull. So we're kind of covering our drawing that we just drew, right? Because we're going to include our hair. And there's a whole science to drawing hair. But for this intents purposes, we're not necessarily going to do that. But I wanted to give you guys an idea of how our hair will also shape our face. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just erase my ears because I'm not going to show my ears so much. My hair is much fuller. Framing my face. Let's get rid of some of these ear lines. So, but gives us a better understanding of what we look like. Okay, now that we have created a sense of a skull and our hair, let's go back and do our hair just a little bit more properly. I'm going to go ahead and draw some distinct lines here. I part my hair in the center. Okay. Like that. Go off to the side. It gets a little bit bumpier when it go around my ears. It comes down here. Let me see here. Let me go. Also get some curve. I'm going to do some shading here. Add some lines down here. Go ahead and do a more distinct line here. Again here. And at the top of my head. So now we're starting to see a style with a little bouffant. We're also going to see hair coming around because we have a little bit of our neck right here, right? We're going to see hair coming down here from behind my neck in front. And this is where we're going to come in with some shading. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause to get some of my colored pencils. Okay, so I am going to go back and I'm going to do some erasing, just a little light erasing, just so that these pencil marks don't look so harsh. See how I'm not erasing totally everything, just a light erase. And then I'm going to come in with some colors. Okay, so I have brown hair, brown, red hair. It's all mixed in. So I think I'm going to start with maybe this mulberry. No, let's not start with mulberry. Let's start with Tuscan red. Let's try that. Okay, so let's see here. I'm just going to start with the edges and follow along those lines those harsher lines I drew. But I also do want to leave some space for highlights because even though we have solid color head, right, we will still see highlights. I don't necessarily want this to be a deep crease because that looks really odd to me. So I think I'm just going to continue drawing from that, but not emphasize it too much. Now, when our hair, some areas are going to be darker than others. We're going to just go ahead and do some light coloring to fill in, give us some base color, okay? And then we're going to come in later and add like specific highlights and shades. I'm loving this. I'm loving that. So hair is more free flowing, so we really should not restrict it. I'm just going to color it in. I feel like I have fuller hair than this. I think I'm going to go off the page here. We got some coloring going in, a base color, because we're going to come in and highlight. I think today we will just do the base color, and then we're going to do a study of how to actually color in hair. That can be our next week's lesson. Let's just go ahead and continue to do our base color this week, you guys. So go ahead and fill in the color. We got the basic shape of our hair. And then next week we will really go in more depth on how to put our shades and our highlights into our hair. But I will not keep you here any longer. And then we're also going to do shading with our eyes. So I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.